Welcome to Triangle BNI. Today's show is brought to you by Simply Done Concierge. Here we are on Monday, December 18th, and there's a lot of stuff to get done by next Monday. And the team at Simply Done Concierge can help you be in two, maybe three places at once. If you will go to simplydoneconcierge.com, let us know what you're looking for and what we can help you with, and the team will take great care of you. So go to simplydoneconcierge.com. Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Manning, and welcome to Triangle BNI. If you are not familiar with BNI, it is Business Networking International, the world's largest networking organization. Our little slice of heaven here in the Triangle, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, and the surrounding towns. We have 32 chapters and almost 600 members that every week we get together to help each other grow our businesses because we know in return we'll get that back to help our businesses grow. And our local small business success story is Jessi Bloom with Bloomwell Business Solutions. Jessi is a member of Carry Connections. They meet every Monday at 8:15, or actually at 8:30 at Hope Community Church on Buck Jones Road. I was just there this morning with Jessi and the gang. Jessi holds the bookkeeping seat. She's one of the newest members, has made her presence known in that chapter by helping many of the members so far, and knows more to come. So good morning, Jessi. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Mike. I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Good. Glad to have you here. We're going to talk about a couple things that I learned from you this morning, which I love. So we'll get into that. But love the description on your website. You help small businesses and nonprofits with all of their bookkeeping, payroll, and benefits administration needs. Now, then one of the neat things is, well, let's get to this first. You have a birthday coming up. It is next
Sure.
week. Do you celebrate your birthdays?
I do, but typically I have an unbirthday in a month like May when
I like
we've
that.
done that ever since I was really small. My parents used to do that for me, and we've just kind of continued it along. I mean, typically we'll sing happy birthday and do a nice dinner, that kind of thing. But I'm one of those people that it gets kind of difficult to fit in
Yeah.
when Christmas is being celebrated and those holidays. So we have an unbirthday.
I like that because it is difficult. Everybody's like, oh, your birthday's right around Christmas. They don't realize you get one day of gifts, don't you?
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's really stressful for everybody else. Like, you're already trying to take really
Yeah.
good care of your family, and then it's hard to deal with somebody's extra birthday also.
Yeah.
So we like
Yeah.
to give that opportunity to just space it out.
There you go. Well, happy early birthday.
Thank you, Mike.
And also your business is coming up on 5 years,
That's correct.
which is neat because goal number one is always to get to year number 2. So the
Yeah.
fact that you're coming up on year 5, congratulations. What have you learned that you didn't think you were going to learn about running a business?
Great question. I took my degree was in business administration from UCF. And so I did do a lot of studies about some of the support services that are involved in owning a business and some entrepreneurship. But one of the things that I really was surprised by was how important it is to be a servant leader. I have a couple of employees, and really the best way to motivate and inspire them is to just really work hard myself and kind of show them the way to balance work life and be committed to our culture and to what we do as bookkeepers.
And you would agree that owning a small business is not for the faint of heart?
Uh,
Because it's a leap of faith, isn't it?
it is a leap of faith, but I was very lucky. Began my business kind of during the COVID era. And so kind of took on one client and then took on two clients. And then when it was ready to make that switch, I went over. One of the amazing things about the job of being a bookkeeper in particular, you have a steady monthly income from each client. So it's kind of easy to budget. And additionally, the average bookkeeping client engagement lasts 5 years. So, once you're able to get that client, you're providing excellent customer service and doing your best work. you really do have kind of a long-term relationship.
Mm.
So I haven't had too many, scary moments where I questioned running my own business or anything like that. And I chalk much of that up to the nature of the business of bookkeeping. It's kind of a long-term, steady, supportive environment.
For people looking or thinking about starting a business, recurring revenue you hit on is a major thing. What
Yeah.
got me into BNI in late 2013, my brother and I had a commercial cleaning company, which again, you get accounts so you know every month. And it's wonderful to be able to budget and plan because you know, unless you really screw up, you know pretty much how much money's coming in every month.
Yes, sir. That's true. It also makes me a nice BNI member
Yep.
because I'm able to, chalk up those recurring revenue dollars to my fellow members.
Mhm.
So, that makes nice business for them also.
Was there a point in time after you started your business that you went, okay, I got this. This was the right move?
I knew. I knew from moment one. I've always wanted, as soon as I learned how to do bookkeeping, I thought, wow, that would be really cool if I could do that from my house and if I could do it for more than one client.
Mhm.
And as soon as I was able to do it, we started doing it. I really haven't had any questions since then. I love what I do. I love helping small businesses, and I don't have any doubts. And I kind of haven't along the way. So maybe a major success moment. I had like a $8,000 cleanup job, and that was
Ooh.
way more than kind of what I was looking at before. And I was sort of terrified of taking on that, but we were able to complete it, and the client was really happy, and I was too. So maybe that was one of my first big successes where I felt like, okay, I'm really doing this. It's happening, and I love it.
And you and I have only known each other for a couple of months because you're one of the newer people in your chapter. But the
Yes.
more I'm around you, the more I sense that confidence is generally not a problem.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Mike.
Yep. All right. So, as small business owners, we run through many red flags when we start because we think we either can do it all and or need to do it all. But
Mhm.
if we truly stop and look at red flags, which one do we see that we really should stop and think, I need to outsource my bookkeeping?
I think that really comes from a level of knowledge. Uh, it's interesting. I work with QuickBooks software exclusively, and QuickBooks has a tendency to tell small businesses that they can just handle all of their bookkeeping themselves. And you can, but there's a lot of things that QuickBooks doesn't teach you, and there are a lot of sort of difficult software things that happen where you have to have workarounds. So can you do your own bookkeeping? Absolutely. It's just that it takes hours away from your regular business. So if you're spending 10 hours a week on bookkeeping, that's 10 hours a week that you could spend taking care of your clients, getting new clients, and just generally or living your life and adding to your quality of life. So I would suggest that new business owners actually start with a bookkeeper because I can set everything up properly from the beginning. I understand that it's an expense, but the issue is, for example, I have a prospect this week that I'm working with. He's been paying a bookkeeper for 2 years, and there are lots of mistakes. There are lots of issues, and so now they're having to pay me to go back in and fix it. So, if I were to give advice to someone starting a new business, I would say contact a bookkeeper, have them help you set up your chart of accounts, have them give you some classes on how to categorize your transactions and reconcile your accounts if you do want to do your own bookkeeping. And then when you get to a certain amount of revenue, possibly you want to switch over to a service. And prices start around $300 a month. It doesn't have to be that expensive. And you also can add or subtract services as a flexibility. So, you can add invoicing or you can add payables, and that doesn't have to happen all at once. So, your bookkeeping service can grow with your business. I would say start right away.
I like that because as a business coach, clients I work with, especially startup clients, solopreneurs usually, We talk about the time, and it's a bad answer to say, "Oh, I'll take care of that when I get home tonight after dinner and the kids are in bed." A, no, that's not why you started your own business, was to do that. And B, that's in my mind, that's when mistakes are gonna happen, like 8:30 at night, you're already dog tired.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Um, my brother, is a serial small business owner, probably since about 1995. And he's got 2 kids, and one of the things he raised them on is at some point in time, you're gonna have to pay the price. So going back to your explanation earlier, do you wanna pay it on day 1, or do you wanna pay that big $8,000 bill 2 years down the line?
Right. Yeah. That's true.
And, I'm sure you get people that come to you is like, I don't know, I have something, but I don't know what I have."
Absolutely, absolutely, and there are people who have maybe some insecurity about how their books look when I come in, and
Mhm.
I just try to reassure everyone everything is fixable,
Yeah.
and lucky you, I know how to fix it. So as long as I'm provided the information and I know the right questions to ask, we can get everything all set up. You don't have to be afraid of your taxes. You don't have to be afraid of your bookkeeping, and anything that has gone in that maybe isn't correct. It is very fixable. We can make adjustments, journal entries, and we if questions that I don't know the answer to, I know some excellent CPAs that give me just the
Mhm.
perfect, honest, correct, real advice.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I
with you
got your
on that.
back.
Yep, I'm with you on that. Today at your chapter meeting during the elevator pitch time, you talked about 3 tips, and my favorite one was don't, this is to business owners, don't, I believe I have it right, don't go broke trying to look rich.
Yep.
All right, so what prompted you to use that as a tip? Somebody did something, right?
Um, it wasn't really that. I was reading some tips from Warren Buffett
Mhm.
and other experts in the field, and I see that sometimes more in in the personal side than on the business side for people, but trying to kind of keep up with the Joneses essentially. Buy things that they don't need, and then when you do that, you're not able to invest and save. So obviously those two situations where your money is working for you is better than kind of getting rid of your money for something that makes you look good. So wait on that purchase of a new car and maybe buy the printer that you need for your business or
Yeah.
those sorts of things. And certainly I never lecture my clients on spending too much, but because they know that I'm going through the books and I'm seeing the purchases and I'm going to ask them for receipts and I'm going to ask them for questions about what they purchased so that I can put it in the right expense category for tax time. I think for clients, knowing that they have someone watching their back on their expenses is that little added
Yeah.
measure of accountability. And that helps. That helps make good decisions.
And I agree with you because there's a lot of times we should be asked to justify our decisions. And with your bookkeeper, that's one. It's like, Mike, why did you buy that new car now? And if
Yeah.
my answer to you is, well, that means I didn't, in my mind, that means I didn't have a plan, Jesse.
Well, and hopefully, so I meet with clients every month to discuss their financials. And hopefully, we make a plan about
Yes.
things like that, especially big purchases. I love to help clients plan for the future.
Mhm.
When we first sign on, I ask them, what are their goals and what are their pain points? And we try to measure in both directions at that monthly meeting. How are we progressing toward our goals? And how are we doing with the original pain points? And do we have new ones? Because there's always something that's constantly changing. And the other thing about small businesses that we were talking about, and I see this in my own business as well, you were saying that you need to justify your expenses sometimes. Well, when you're the boss and all of a sudden the buck stops with you,
Mhm.
there's really no one to put you
Yep.
in gentle check like that. And I'm glad to do that.
Oh, yeah. No, there's, because there needs to be, there in my mind, numbers need to be hit to trigger things. So your goal could be, if you're working with somebody, Jesse, my goal is if I hit this number in sales, it'll mean this much in profit. I'm going to buy my new vehicle because I'm in it all the time and this one's getting really old, but they've identified a number that need to be hit instead of I'm going to go buy it because I need it.
Well said. Yeah. The other thing I like to advise clients on is allocating a percentage of their income to the different areas. So we try to save between 15 and 23% for taxes.
Mhm.
So just essentially every time you're making an income deposit, I'm transferring over 15 to 23%, depending on what we've discussed in our monthly meetings, into the tax savings account. So when it comes time for the end of the year, we're going, okay, time to file the taxes. I've got plenty of money to
Mm.
pay it, and then some extra for next year as well. And then maybe 30% or so to expenses. That's including payroll. And then I also try to encourage clients to save 5% to a profit distribution account. So that way, about every quarter, we distribute the full amount of the profit distribution to the clients. So you really can feel when your
Mhm.
business is making more money because you're seeing it come in a lump sum amount every quarter. And it's very rewarding for clients, very rewarding for business owners. And you really get a good feel for how hard you're working and how that's translating into like vacation dollars in
Mhm.
your life.
Well, and that dovetails into your other point that I really liked was spend what's left after savings.
That's right.
Yeah. We again, but again, goes back to what my brothers preach forever and ever is you're gonna have to pay it one day. Usually the decision's up to you. When do you want to pay that? If you do a $1,000 transaction and you put $200 away for taxes, you want to pay that today, or do you want to scramble on the day, at the end of each quarter like I don't have $7,000, Jesse.
That's right. And there's a sense of timing to that too. Let's say you do want to make a big car purchase and we make that purchase, but then the next month you want to buy a new printer. Well,
Mm,
we're not there yet.
yeah,
We will get there. And
yeah.
that's another thing that I can help guide clients on. And that is something that sets me apart from the other bookkeepers that I've been in contact with. I find a lot of bookkeepers who are tax accountants and they'll keep your books and then file your taxes, and I've chosen not to go that route. I really enjoy being the first watch for clients' books and then passing that off to an accountant who can then be the second,
Mm,
reviewer and preparer for the taxes. So you really have a double security system that everything is looking right. Because it's just the worst when you have to pay penalties, fees, and interest on top of taxes. Man, that's a bummer. So I
yeah.
really try to help clients avoid situations like that. And the service that I provide additionally to bookkeeping is advisory services. And so we will analyze your profit and loss statement. We will forecast your income for the next quarter. We will budget how much a new employee is going to both make and cost you, and the timing again, when is the right time to do that. And it's just nice to have someone to bounce those ideas off of. I find sometimes as a CEO, I'm in my own head and I have to kind of get those ideas out, run it by someone. And that's one way I really can help as a bookkeeper to look at your finances and help make awesome plans.
Mm. Now, with all that work you do with clients, keeping up with money, keeping them out of jail, all that good stuff, keeping them from getting letters from the IRS, we all need our time away. And first of all, you're a musician, which we'll get to, but
Yep.
also a yoga and meditation instructor.
Yeah, that's
Is
true.
that where you blow off some steam and get rid of all that daily stress and everything?
Absolutely. I try really hard to be very zen, and that comes from yoga often. I think meditation is such a great way to silence some of the mind chatter. Being in business, there are times that it's very important to listen to your logical mind, and you got to analyze the data and do the customer service and things like that, and it doesn't leave a ton of room for intuition. But if you look at some of the most successful business people, you realize that they are very inspired and they have excellent visionary ideas. And I find that meditation is the way to teach your logical mind to be quiet until you're ready to use it. And then while your logical mind is being quiet, that's when your intuition and that inspiration gets to come in. And that's where you have your visionary ideas. And then you ask your mind, your logical mind, to help you make those ideas come into fruition.
And your yoga classes will help old people like me with bad backs who have tight hamstrings and barely can
Yeah,
stretch anymore.
absolutely. We could do some chair yoga.
There you go. Is it the hot yoga? I know there's all kinds of different kinds. I have
Yeah.
no idea what's what.
No, hot yoga is very intense. I like a more calm, quiet yoga
Yeah.
practice. So my favorite one is called Yin. You actually do just three or four positions in
Mhm.
about an hour, and you kind of have to hold it for a long time. It stretches the connective tissue in your body so that you have more support and flexibility long term. I also like a variety called Hatha yoga, which is kind of you hold the positions for maybe 5 to 6 breaths. So there's certainly more than 3 positions in the class. That particular practice has a lot to do with balance. So you will both do some sort of challenging, exciting sorts of poses, and then also some relaxing, regenerative, uh, restorative poses.
What I learned years ago about my back was it's not just my back, it's my hamstrings, which are tied to my glutes, which are tied to my back. So my chiropractor said, "Hey, you big dummy, while you're stretching your back, I need you to lay down on the floor and do these hamstring extra stretching exercises." Which it that was a I'm sure I've heard before. Everything's connected in your body, but when you're 22, you're like, yeah, right, I'm fine. I could go run, do this and do that. But the older you get, you're like, dang, it really is connected. So all these different parts, especially with yoga, with the stretching, I've heard is a wonderful thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I also find some interesting symmetries to yoga and bookkeeping that maybe the average person wouldn't because they don't do both. But I find that money is the energy in your body, and you have an energy system, or
Ooh,
money is the energy in your business. Excuse me, and you have an energy system that you're running. Your financials and your software, and you're distributing that energy in different places, and yoga is the same for your body. It's that energy in your body, and you're channeling it and using it to regenerate your body. And so that I find sometimes they go
nice.
hand in hand in surprising ways.
Nice. All right. So you are a musician.
Yes.
I think it's one of those things that people, if they could do, they would want to do it. Kind of like some people like, singing or dancing, which I can do neither of. I just picture like Mick Jagger and Freddie Mercury on a stage in a stadium, and you're not even singing your song. You're just holding the microphone out, and the crowd singing back to you.
Oh, wow.
I don't
Yeah.
know how there's many better moments on that. But who did you get the music gene from?
Oh, what a cool question. My great grandmother, Beulah Brandstetter,
Nice.
yeah, yeah, she actually got a scholarship to Juilliard for her piano playing.
Wow.
And in subsequent years, I learned how to play piano on her piano.
Wow. How old were you when you started doing that?
I was 8, third grade, I think.
And what intrigued you about all of that?
Well, I just always loved to sing. When I was about 4, my dad got a video recorder, and every time he put the recorder on me, I would sing the song Daisy. Do you know this song?
I don't think so.
It's a silly little kind of old Showtimey tune that they taught me, I guess. So we have maybe like hours of footage of me singing Daisy. So I guess it's just something that I kind of came to the planet with. A
Oh,
lot of times,
tell me those
yeah.
videos still exist.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, they break them out all the time at like
Good. And
Christmas or family reunions,
that's what
whenever
parents
it's most embarrassing.
yeah, and that's what parents should do. It's like,
Definitely.
"Hey," well, so it's 2 things. In case you've never seen this or if you just wanna see it again, here's little Jessie singing Daisy.
Yeah, they have this great video of me like getting angry and like throwing a lawn chair around the yard. It's a mess.
Have you been in a band before?
No, that's kind of a bucket list thing for me. I kind of learned to play music in a vacuum in some ways. My piano teacher came and taught me to play, and then I played for concerts or sorry, for what are those called? Recitals.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to say. And then I played with my high school or my middle school band. I guess you could call it like I played clarinet in that band, but not like a cool rock band like Queen or any of that.
What is the best concert you've ever been to?
Oh man, that's a hard one. So I love live music
Mhm.
and I make that a priority as much as possible. So I'm going to kind of cheat the answer and say that my favorite concert I've been to was a music festival,
Okay.
which was like multiple concerts over 4 days in Virginia called Lock-In. And some of the artists we saw were Widespread Panic, Dead and Company, Tedeschi Trucks Band, Disco Biscuits, and many others. That was awesome.
All right. Who haven't you seen live in concert that you want to see?
So I'm trying to make sure that I see artists that I love before they quit playing. So
Yeah.
kind of like grown-up artists. I haven't seen the Eagles yet. I really want
Ooh, you better
to.
hurry up.
I'm saying.
Wait, they're coming through here next year, I
I
thought.
know it. I'm trying to
Okay.
make it happen. I
All right.
missed Phil Collins. I'm really
Yeah.
sad about it. Yeah.
My first concert I ever went to was I went to Millbrook High School here way back
Oh, wow, you're local.
oh yeah, way back before your parents had even met. That's how old I am, okay?
Silly.
And it was the Doobie Brothers. I
Yes.
love the Doobie Brothers, and so I'm there with my date, a very nice, I was on the tennis team, and all the other athletes went with the gymnast. We had a good time. Um, and she's sitting next to me, and then she nudged my shoulder. I'm like, "What?" And she handed me what is a doobie, which I did not know what that was. Oh god, that's how bland I am on learning stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'll pass. So I handed it to the next guy, and he just took a big old hit off of that. But that first time I'd ever seen that knowingly. I'm sure I saw it in school before, but yeah. But what a great show, though. Oh yeah, let me.
That's so awesome.
So
Yeah, there are times at a concert where I feel like I'm at one with the collective
yeah,
union,
yeah,
It's just like the music is vibrating through your soul and all the people are dancing and you're
yeah.
like, "Oh, this is why I'm here."
Oh yeah, yeah. Just you can forget about a lot because yeah, you can forget about a lot of things
Yeah.
at a
I think
concert.
music is kind of a religion of its own.
Well, music and food are the 2
Oh,
true
Lord.
international languages, right?
Yeah,
Brings
I have 2 little boys and food is definitely love. Like,
yeah,
I just
oh,
feed them. That's really all I do. I
yeah,
feed them.
and the older they get, the more they eat, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you could have people that speak 20 different languages at a concert, and the music brings them all together.
Well said.
Yeah,
That's the
so
truth.
I've been to not a lot, been to some really good ones.
What was
Uh
your favorite concert, Mike?
I go back so a couple things. I go back to the original Doobie Brothers show. I love that. In college, I saw Cheap Trick, and this would have been
Yes.
1980. Loudest concert. I think my ears are still
Always
ringing from
loud.
that. When we lived in our Florida connection, you went to University of Central Florida. You went to Winter Park High School, which is
I did.
in Orlando.
Yep.
My boys, I worked at Daytona International Speedway from
I've been
90.
there.
Yep, from 99 to 2009, and my boys graduated from Spruce Creek High School. Okay.
Oh, wow. Small world.
So we got tickets. This was around the Pepsi 400, so it was 4th of July, and
Mm.
this really good young country artist named Toby Keith was playing.
Oh,
And we were
wow.
fans of Toby Keith. I got tickets. We went there, and he had this opening act, this tall dude with a nasty, ugly mullet, Blake Shelton. Yeah, before
Oh,
we had ever heard
wow.
of him, it was like, interesting, okay.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, but
that's so great.
Toby Keith was a good show, but the Doobies, man, just live. We were sitting on the floor. I have no idea how I got tickets there. I'm sure the tickets back then were like $9 back in 1980. That
Wow.
because that would have been 70, I think 78 maybe. But yeah, love
Do you
that
know
show.
who's still an epic performer? Is Steve Miller Band.
Love that
I
My
saw them at Red Hat a couple
Yep.
years back, and we were dancing in our seats. It was so much fun.
Yep. So I have 3 grandkids, and I sing to them. I don't sing to Oliver as much anymore because he's 5, but he was little. He went through the same thing that Maggie, his sister, and then Cortland, his cousin. Maggie's 15 months, Cortland's 11 months. So when I hold
Oh,
them, I talk to them and I sing to them. And The Joker is one of the songs they all have heard from me. Love that song. Love that
my
song.
brother and sister joke that like the picker is like picking their nose.
Yeah. Hey, it's all in interpretation, right? Yep. All right. So one of the things I've learned about you. Oh, by the way, you have 2 boys. Did either of them get that music gene from you?
No.
Did
The 16-year-old, we guilt tripped him into playing piano for a few
Yeah.
years, and he put up with it. He also picked up a trumpet and got pretty good at it.
Oh.
But his new love is lacrosse.
Yeah, you can hit people with a stick. I kind of like that. Run around. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's so funny. The first time I watched him play, he was really small compared to all the rest of the
Mhm.
kids on the field, and he was not played very much because he hadn't done it much. And they finally let him on the field, and somebody took the ball from him, and he followed them, just hitting them with a
Yep.
stick, just whacking them.
Yep.
And I thought, oh my God, this is his sport. He's
Mhm.
been doing this to his brother since he was
Yeah.
3. This is perfect, and he loves it still.
Yeah, and he wasn't getting yelled at because you could do it.
Yeah, it's fine.
I know. Did either one of them get this love of math and numbers?
Oh yeah, actually both of them are really scientific and math oriented. And actually both of them are excellent cookers and
Ooh,
bakers.
good call.
Yeah, it was so exciting this year. Every year they complain about the food at Thanksgiving. They
Mhm.
don't like any of the things. And typically I just deal with them whining. But
Mhm.
this year, both of them cooked a separate dish.
Nice.
One made smoked mac and cheese, and the other one made mini chocolate cupcakes.
Nice.
Mhm.
Here's our first bit of advice to parents listening. If you have boys, I can't speak for girls because I only raised 2 boys.
Me too.
When the boys leave your house to go to college or trade school, or when they finish high school and they move out, make sure they can do their own laundry and they can cook somewhat,
That's
because they'll
right.
be much more acceptable by the people who want to date them if they can do both. But more importantly, they can live on their own. They won't bring their laundry back to your house.
I always tell them that they need to be good husbands, so they got
Yes.
to figure some of this stuff out because I want grandbabies.
Yeah, doing laundry is not hard. Just don't put the reds in with the whites. Other than that, it's tough to screw up. So learn to do your own, especially when you're 16, 17 playing sports and they're a lot smellier than the other clothes in the house. Yeah.
I keep deodorant in my car.
Yep.
We'll put it that
Oh,
way.
yeah. Yeah. Pick them up from practice. Oh, yeah. I remember those days. Yeah.
Just spray them.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Mrs. Bloom. Right. One of the kids would always do that. Right. All right. So, you were the 10-minute presenter a couple weeks ago when I was visiting your chapter. And one of the things was talk about something someone doesn't know about you. And you actually sing live at funerals.
Yeah.
How did that start?
Yeah. So when I first learned bookkeeping, I started at St. Bernadette Catholic Church
Mhm.
in Fuquay. And I was also a parishioner there. So it was normal for me to be at services. And the music director mentioned that sometimes people sing for funerals. And I was interested in singing solo. So I said, well, I'll try it. And I ended up just truly loving it because I felt like um, not only was it a joy to my soul to be able to express myself through music, but then also I felt like I was comforting people.
Yep.
And you would be amazed, just so many people would come to me afterward and thank me, and
Mm.
I would try to be supportive to them about their loss, and we would have some really great conversations, and it ended up being just one of the more beautiful things I ever did in my life, which was very surprising. Funeral
Yep.
singer doesn't sound all
Yep.
that romantic, but I really loved doing it.
No,
So
but it is part of it. I'm with you. Having gone through,
yeah.
but both my parents are gone. Having gone through their funerals, there's our moments where where you want some more connectivity there. So I'm
Yeah,
glad
it's
you do that.
true. Thank
Do
you.
you dabble in writing music?
I would love to, and occasionally something cool will come, but it isn't something that's come naturally. So it's something that when I have the time, I would really love to take maybe a class
Mm.
on. I'm truly obsessed with Tom Petty's writing, for
Oh yeah.
example. Something, I got to see him live, by the way.
Oh, so good. Yep.
So okay, not to like distract, but this was my favorite rock and roll moment in my whole life. At the end of the Tom Petty concert in Memphis, everybody was starting to leave the stadium, and I was still standing there, just like taking in the Tom Petty of it all. And he looked out into the crowd, and I made the peace sign, and he made it back.
Very
Tom
nice.
Petty gave me the peace sign.
There you go. I'm a Petty fan, but I love the Traveling Wilburys. I'm a
Yeah,
big Roy
definitely.
Orbison,
How
man,
could
what
you
a
not?
voice. Yeah,
Yeah.
but they only have a couple videos out, so every now and then I'll get on YouTube, I'll be sitting home, it's like, I need some music, and I'll pop up one of theirs,
Yes.
and it'll lead to others like that, but yeah, yeah, Petty,
Yes
I
to
I
that.
bet that was a
Yeah.
good
So
show.
I would definitely love to like channel my inner Tom Petty and
Yep.
someday write like a really simple, awesome, meaningful song.
Well, your boys probably have uttered a phrase at you that's like, "Man, hang on a sec. I think I could write something on that." Right? Just again.
I'm glad you said that,
Yep.
Mike, because it just came to me. And the phrase is this: my oldest said to my mom, Nana, you don't let me remember it exactly. It's okay to be scared, but you have to be brave.
Nice. That's a song, right? That's
That would
the
be a
hook for the
song.
song,
I'm gonna
absolutely.
give you credit for that
Yep,
song when it makes millions, Mike.
right?
Thanks for
So
that.
if you write it, you can find somebody to put it to music, but if you get the words and you write it, but yeah, that's how things start. I love,
You're right.
VH1 used to have a show called Storytellers, I don't know if they still have it.
Oh, loved it.
Yep, yep,
Definitely.
and Billy Joel was on one day, and they were
Oh,
asking
love
him
him.
about, yeah, me too, saw him in concert by himself and then with Elton John. So
Stop it.
that was oh, yeah, in Atlanta, that was really
Wow.
good. But they were talking about, hey, the song, Italian Restaurant, and he
Yeah.
goes, "I had everything written, but I didn't have the opening line, so I was stuck, it wasn't going anywhere yet." And whoever he was married to at the time, this is probably back in the '70s, we're at a restaurant, and the, waiter walks over and said and just put in front of us and said, "Bottle of red, bottle of white," and he goes, "That's when I knew that was the opening for that song," but that's how that happened, yeah.
Wow. And
Yeah.
it's so iconic too.
Oh, yeah, huge, but that's again,
Yeah.
your son just gave you the hook for a
You're
song. Yep.
right. You're right. And it also goes back to a point that we talked about earlier where so many times the most exciting, important, inspiring things
Mm.
that happen in your life just kind of arrive or
Yep,
materialize from your intuition or from inspiration or from somebody at a
yep,
restaurant
yep.
and you're just awake enough to like pick it up.
Mhm.
That's awesome. That was such a cool
Oh,
story. I
yeah,
love
love
that.
the stories behind songs, but we could do a whole whole 'nother show on that. So real
True,
quick
true.
before we go, one of the neat things that I took from you a couple weeks ago when you were the presenter, which I admired the hell out of, is that you only hire women. Did I get that
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
I love it, and what makes you want to do that?
Um, I think maybe having gone through a divorce and being a single mom and then needing to find work, but I had 2 kids and sometimes my kids like needed to come home from school because they were sick or I needed to leave early because the bus route didn't work and there were all these other extra needs that I had that my ex-husband didn't have to take care of. And that's totally fine and that's just sort of the way of things, but I just thought, when I'm at a place where I can offer employment, I want to help women. I
Mm,
want to help people like where I was. And then also having boys, I always say that I'm raising men who love women
yep.
and I like them to see women who are powerful, feminine, intelligent, and wise,
Mhm.
and respected and respectful. And so, one of the other things that I offer women who work with me is a lot of training. I would love to see us, feel empowered and lift up others. And obviously, I love to. a lot of my clients are men. I adore them. It's not an anti-men thing,
Hmm,
but I love to see women helping women, and I like
good.
to be part of that.
I like that. I like that. And yeah, with kids, when life happens, like I got to go.
That's
I mean,
right.
when the school calls you, you got to go, and
That's right.
and you just hope you don't lose your job because you got to go. So,
And that happened to
yep,
me once.
yep.
Yeah.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Yeah, probably
Yeah.
by a guy, right? Yeah, my kind, we're not bright sometimes. We're just not, and that's not the right time to flex your muscles of, "Hey, and if you leave, you're fired." No, dummy. So, but
Yeah.
anyways, I'm glad you do that. I hope that you grow the business big enough where you can hire more.
Me
So,
too. Thank you.
but folks, if you need a bookkeeper or you need a couple of questions to a bookkeeper of, do I need a bookkeeper? We've been putting Jessi's phone number on the screen here. Please give her a call. There are certain things you need as a business owner to outsource to experts. And bookkeeping is always number one for me, and digital marketing is the second, because like you said earlier, Jessi, we can do bookkeeping. We should
Absolutely.
choose not to. So again, like you said, we can spend those hours a week out making more money. In digital marketing, we're just also bad at it. We got to outsource that to experts. But I hope people realize the value of a bookkeeper on what it does for their business. So keep up the good work.
Thank you so much, Mike. This has been a joy.
Yep, and enjoyed having you on the show. Big Christmas plans.
Oh, every year I throw a giant Christmas Eve party.
Why am I not
So
surprised? Why am I not surprised? With
it's so
games and
kind.
fun everywhere, right?
There will definitely be Christmas carols and games. We do charades and eat Italian food of all things. And
Nice. All right. Now,
yeah, so
how
gotta get
many
hot on that.
how many years have you been doing this?
Almost 10.
Nice. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really nice because my sister lives nearby and I do the crazy Christmas Eve. And then she does like the dress up, 5 course traditional Christmas
Oh,
dinner. And so we get the best of both worlds.
very nice. Which is your personality and her personality, right?
Yeah. I'm
Perfect.
the crazy one.
I wish more people would lean into who they are. So I'm glad you do that. So,
Mike, you're
any,
so good at this. Thank you very much.
well,
That's
thank
very
you,
kind.
ma'am. No, glad to have you on. And for everybody listening, watching, please have a safe and happy Merry Christmas and happy holidays. And thank you
Yes.
for joining us. And Jessi, good luck finishing up the year and getting started for tax season in January.
Yay. Thank you,
Good.
Mike.
And we'll see everybody next time on Triangle BNI.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.